Is this on? Let's see. Just gonna open up the thing. Anyone showing? A. Sorry, I'm still figuring this out. Last one went really well, and sorry. There we go. 3 watching now. Hey, what's up? Sorry, my last time doing this with James went really smoothly, so I lured me into a false sense of security, and now I don't know what's going on. So we'll see. Trying to get Will and James into the chat to hang out and talk about that video. Getting a wiggling green speech bubble. Does anyone know how to do this? Who's watching the stream? Sorry, this is not great. Wolf whistle, cute. Hey, what's up? Yeah, no. Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear James is here. What's up?
Not much, dude. What's up with you?
Chilling, just at my place. I'm about to go meet my parents for a mommy's day thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got some socks. They are not wrapped, so we'll see how that goes.
Yikes, dude.
Am I fucked here?
Yeah. You're about to get disowned, man.
Damn. Will it help or hinder that if I tell my mom that I'm spreading leftist propaganda?
Leftist propaganda, nice.
I was busy doing that.
Yeah. That's a good excuse, though.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to take a look and see what's going on with Will. Yeah.
Are we on YouTube right now?
We are on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
I sent in our message. I sent a link to the YouTube thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll see if I can do that so I can read if there are people commenting this time.
Yeah, there are a couple.
Nice.
Wrap the socks in other socks. Damn, that's some galaxy brain shit. Yeah. So sorry, give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna see what I can do to share this. No, that's not what I want to do. Add people. Let's see. Maybe I think I can send the Hangout link to our buddy, and let's see. Maybe I think I can send the. Is that? Are we getting something? Hello?
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 I'm here.
Okay. I don't know. It's yeah. Did everything go? I just heard something weird. Anyway, wow, this is riveting for everyone watching this. I know. Strong start. Yeah.
Is this how all YouTube live things start out? Is just like a good 5 minutes of like, all right, hang on. We don't know if anybody's. Can you hear me? Wait, Will, are you there?
I mean, I think a lot of them. I was on a couple non-compete early ones, and that was very much that. So I mean, I think okay. Yeah. American Johnson definitely blazed a trail for us to follow. So we talking about are we just talking about the video or what? Oh well. There. So yeah, I guess we'll just try and start and hope that Will can join us. Yeah. Also, sorry. Oh, did I hear something? No. Okay. Also, I realized we didn't do this last time, James, but let's do a pronoun standoff thing, or we'll just introduce ourselves and be
pronoun standoff.
Yeah. We're it's a thing where you're just I'm saying that really glibly. It shouldn't. It's hey, what's up? I'm Sam, aka Blackgoat 666, and I go by he, him pronouns. And now yeah.
Cool. I'm James. I go by Pale Goat 420, and I also go by he, him pronouns.
Cool. Anyway, yeah, I guess we'll start doing that. The video, talking about the latest video. Yeah, how'd you?
Is it up yet?
Oh yeah, it's up. It just premiered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I like it. I gotta be honest. I don't
Fair.
know if I like it.
Um,
Once I see it, I'll know.
I know this is one this is one I was really like this topic I was the most daunted about just because the race realist alt-right people are the ones who like know their shit the most, who are definitely the most off the wall crazy, but also like have the most scientific stuff.
Yeah, like this is a sort of thing that you can't just sort of like half-ass it. Like if you're gonna be talking about race realism and not call yourself a racist,
Yeah.
then you have to kind of know about like studies and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was funny. Uh, someone someone commented. It wasn't even like to me. It was I think it's to Mexi commented on my last video, and then someone very unprompted just sent her this like crazy
Yeah,
long
I saw that
essay.
comment,
Yeah, and it was citing these really weird like scientific journals, but it would be the Journal of Black's Science Studies or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
From like the 1800s or something. Like...
Yeah, totally. It's like it's from like the College of Race Science Studies from apartheid South Africa.
Yeah.
Let's also see because there's some people in the comments. If you've got the YouTube video open, who are commenting, and we can. Yeah, entry level hipster saying the video felt pretty good. To be fair, then again, I'm drunk, so IDK. Thank you.
Nice. That's how you should be enjoying these videos. Get hammered.
I mean, that's how I film them, and I feel like my filming would be better technically if it wasn't if I wasn't inebriated when I was trying to do them, but I think it makes me good.
You think so? Maybe we should start getting drunk when we write them.
I mean, that I'm down for.
You're like, I've always been drunk when we're writing.
Yeah. Everyone is drunk. Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. Is there anyone? Is there anything that you wish that we had gotten more into?
Well, hard to say without seeing the video, but I guess I saw the script.
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. Is there anything you have on your mind?
There were just
got more into.
Not exactly.
It's a big topic.
Yeah, they're not exactly like specific topics that I wish we'd covered, but there's so much written about it that it would be something would happen where it would be like way too late for me to make a change, and like I would have to re-record so much if I wanted to add something. But for instance, I talked about the Raven Matrix IQ test. It's like the culturally fair IQ test where it's all pattern recognition. And for the video, I looked up stock footage of just examples of Raven Matrix tests to sort of like make a trippy background. And in all the in the pictures when I was just looking through it, I found a graph for a study that found that income has a huge impact on how you do on a Raven Matrix IQ test. And I wanted to be like, also it because my point in it was that it's biased against people with neurodivergencies because it's used as a way of testing for anxiety disorders. But I wanted to just quickly be like, also, it's really also for some reason you do worse on it if you're poor. I don't know, but like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so it's also got its flaws, some similar flaws to the IQ test then.
Yeah.
I thought the Raven Matrix test was interesting. Yeah, because that was was it called the Raven Matrix test because people tested birds' intelligence with it?
So that's one of those things that I've heard that I think is true, but I also didn't want to put in the video because I'm not 100% sure, and I was too lazy to fact check it. Oh, it looks like someone has just joined this chat. Hey!
Somebody leaning against a mirror, looking all cool.
Yeah, look at this. This is we got Will has just joined this this chat. How's it going, Will?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
We cannot see you.
Oh, all right. Well.
Yeah. Do you want to just real quick? We're talking about all this stuff. We were just opening up by doing like a quick like, "Hey, what's up?" and saying your pronouns thing.
Yeah, sure. Hey, my name is Will Jarvis. I'm him, his. I did the music for Sam's last 2 videos, and the sound design in general, and that kind of thing. And yeah. Hey, good to meet you, man.
Nice. Hey, Will. I'm James.
Hey,
nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, sweet. My friends are becoming friends. I love it.
Yeah, over the internet.
Oh,
brave new world we live in.
This is amazing. I'm so new to making internet friends. It blows my mind.
And friends in general.
Yeah, I don't have many of those. Yeah. So, actually, yeah, Will, you can jump in. We were just saying, like, was there anything that do you have any like thoughts about the video? Anything that you wish had been covered that hadn't, or like just in general thoughts?
Oh damn.
Sorry, that's a lot of pressure.
No, that's okay. I liked it. I thought it was funny. I got to the point though where like I was seeing it in such like short snippets over and over and over again because of the editing process that I just kind of like a lot of it lost all meaning. But let me think. I maybe getting into some of more of the sort of the racial obsession with IQ, you know, and maybe even like the because I think you did a good job of like explaining why it's sort of flawed in a general sense, but it's when it comes to its more nefarious applications, I think that could make for like an interesting topic.
Yeah, that would be good. I tweeted about this. I didn't find a good in. I wanted to talk about Stefan Molyneux.
That fucking guy. Oh god. I love how like he's kind of like this specter throughout your video. Like you don't really mention him, but he's just kind of like
yeah.
He's so dumb, man. That guy is so stupid. Stefan Molyneux.
It's so
we should even address that guy. Is he addressed in the video at all, or
very briefly, just as like a clip? Because I found because at one point I started talking about or started looking into Australian Aboriginal IQ stuff. James, you sort of turned me on to that. I found a really good paper that I got a lot of interesting stuff from. It's in the I listed almost all my sources. I actually haven't finished my bibliography in the description for my last video, but one of the I know it sucks. I'm not a good student, but I listed one of them that's a really, really interesting study. It's sort of or a paper that's sort of arguing against the use of intelligence tests across cultures because of just how insanely prone to bias it is. And yeah, so I started like looking into that, and I found Stefan Molyneux talking about like he did like a lecture in Australia, and it's so wild. Because I've seen him. I've seen him a little bit when he is interviewing other people, and he can sort of hide how dumb he is there. When it's just him going off, it's so deranged. I can't even go through all of it. I think he sincerely seems to believe that literally all scientific discoveries came from Western countries, that Western countries have never been religiously oppressive.
Sean's video, fellow large YouTuber Sean's video is on Stefan Molyneux and is great. I think it's called Stefan Molyneux Doesn't Read or Can't Read or something like that. And he goes through point by point one of Stefan's videos showing like he figures out the source that he's getting his information from. And, sort of goes through like how he just kind of takes like the most shallow interpretation of like just one source that he finds that happens to align with his beliefs. Anyway, it's good stuff. He also like he did this thing recently where like he's always kind of tiptoed around the as much as he can around the whole like being like a white supremacist thing. But he's did this thing recently where like he went to Poland, and he remarked that, like, wow, it's so clean, and I felt so safe there. And like, I don't call myself a white nationalist, but I'm an empiricist. I'm an empiricist.
Wow.
Like, dude, who the fuck are you fooling now? Like,
no, yeah.
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 He took like a turn, right? He went like down because he used to be considered kind of like reasonable, Stefan Molyneux, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
Was
Like,
he?
He like debated Sam
contrarian,
Cedar and stuff.
Yeah.
True. I
But
mean,
now he's full on like white nationalists. Like he's just like, yes, I am racist, and I have some logical arguments to explain why.
Yeah, he also has those like crazy eyes too.
Yeah. Oh, he gives off such creepy uncle vibes.
Yeah.
Like
you
all
just
he
need to
has these
listen
like
to
really bad jokes, and he's just like, no, I'm just kidding. It has like that creepy manic energy. Like it feels like he hugs
yeah.
too hard, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry. Just saw in the comments, entry level hipster wanted to hear about that paper I was mentioning. I'm going to, I'm the biggest fan of the Toronto Public Library. They give us access to JSTOR. So I access this, I believe, through JSTOR. So I don't know if there's like a publicly available one that's not behind a paywall. You might be able to find one. If not, message me, or never mind. But I'm just gonna post in the in the comments for the chat. Just the I think it's just an MLA citation of it. But yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah. Also, that Sean video was, I think, basically what radicalized me.
Oh, really?
That was your red pill?
Yeah,
red
that was my bread pill. Yeah, no,
good one. He was so thorough. And
because I used to be like, I was like in like university, such a Reed's Vox. I liked Bernie, but was like a very pragmatist liberal guy. And then and then after Trump, it was just so, my world was destroyed. And I mean, I don't know if anyone in the comments or like watching this is in all the left book groups. They're so awful, but there's like so many of these groups that are like, sounds like X, but okay. And it'll just be all these groups where you just look at these horrifying, like super right-wing things and just get mad at them. And it really made me depressed. And then in one of the comments, someone shared a Sean video, and that was like the light at the end of the tunnel for me.
Huh.
So that was completely off topic and derailed the conversation.
And I gotta watch more of Sean's videos. I should watch more of Sean's stuff, but they're all like pretty long, right? They're all like an hour long or something.
He puts a lot of work into them.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. I have seen a few, but I'll always be like watching YouTube, and I'm like, oh, do I have time for the hour one, or should I watch like 30 10-minute ones?
Yeah. Yeah, I do really like Sean. It is funny how I don't want this to sound mean, but like I'm not very good at editing. Like I stumble my way through Premiere Pro, and like now that I have like this level, it's crazy the amount that I'll watch like Sean or Three Arrows and be like, dude, you could just put a like real easy fade transition on that, and it would look a lot smoother.
Yeah, they really rest on their
on
their,
being really smart and like good researchers.
I just like they have, it's kind of their style too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that you're going in this more cinematic direction.
Fun.
Yeah, Sean's just like, I don't need to do a fade. All right, no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, my video's an hour long. Fuck you. I'm Sean. All right.
Yeah, show them.
You'll like it.
I don't know. Should we read a bit of any comments in the chat? If anyone has anything they wanted to talk about, let's just go through some of the comments. We can see if anyone.
I'd like to go through the comment that says, "Who's the red-haired guy? He's hot."
Hell yeah!
I've actually had blonde hair, but people think I'm ginger all the time.
Sick, man. That's pretty hot.
It is hot. I'm ginger fluid.
Yeah. Love the backgrounds, an empty closet, and an inflatable crocodile art.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
skinned this one alive.
I have such a I mentioned in my last video I got bed bugs and had to move into a new place.
Oh yeah.
And so my new apartment is so just totally bare bones because all my stuff is still, I'm scared to bring it into my apartment. So like yeah. Yeah. So well, Luke, I stand by what I said. Yeah. Let's see. I love cultural Marxism 201. Thanks, Theory Plebe. Yeah, I was really happy with how the filming turned out. We are a bunch of babes. I think that's clear. Yeah. Yeah. I wish we had Maya in here. She's a performance artist who played all 3 of the weird furries in the video.
Yeah, her inclusion makes these videos.
Oh no, I'm still worried for my next one. I was planning on not having her in, and now
I mean that like kind of like playfully too. Like
yeah,
like she's like just such a great addition. Like
yeah,
that humor is just.
Her stuff is so weird. Everyone, please follow her on Instagram, Maya Ben David. I also have her YouTube in the link for in the description of my Race and IQ video. But yeah, she's like such a funny, weird artist. Yeah, stand.
Really cool stuff.
My favorite is and you won't know what this means, but I mean you understand, but I mean like people listening, Log Girl. Check out the Log Girl video. It's
Log Girl.
It's
so dope. Yeah, no. She makes videos. It's like performance art. So she does like, it's not really YouTube videos. She does like maybe 1 or 2 videos that she'll put out every year, and then she makes sort of like, she'll do residencies and stuff. She did one this big performance piece where some of her relatives, like distant cousins, were used as human guinea pigs during by the Nazis during World War II, and by this like famous Nazi scientist. And so the snake costume which she wore in the video, snakes were used as like a way of depicting Jews in Nazi propaganda. So she dresses up as a snake, travels back in time in her piece of performance art and then like she learned how to do wrestling. So she goes back in time and fights the Nazi and frees her like cousins.
Fantastic.
Yeah, her stuff is cool. Really good.
Yeah, I like it because like what in our videos on the Black Goat page, as soon as you see like the snake girl in the first one, you're like, oh, all right, this is gonna be weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a lot odder.
It's working.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. Yeah, that's the thing. Are people liking this over me trying to do a bad copy of Sean? I feel like this is better because I feel like I'm better at doing a shitty copy of like ContraPoints and Philosophy Tube than I am at doing a
that bisexual lighting.
I did my last one in my parents' basement, and my dad has like grow lights, and it works so perfectly for bisexual lighting.
The blue and the red, is it on either side?
A blue and pink, yeah.
Or blue and pink. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does look good.
I don't know. Is there what else should we talk about? I'm not good at this. You're doing your best. That's all that matters. These are, you guys are being very supportive, and we very much appreciate that.
Yeah, I swear next time I'll figure out how to make my camera work.
I saw you for like a split second, Will.
Really?
I saw you. Yeah.
That's encouraging.
But now it's gone.
but more frustrating, honestly.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. It just made it worse.
No, it's all right.
Is the let's just do more tech support. Is the when you go to like the top with like the Google Live stuff, there's like a leave call, like the settings, adjust bandwidth usage, turn camera off, turn microphone off. Is there that?
Yes.
Can you turn the camera on or?
It says it is on. I think I'm just having.
Oh, okay.
My computer just has issues with this camera.
Mine does too.
Who knows? I thought one thing I wanted to say earlier. We were talking about the Raven Matrix test.
Yeah.
And like the idea of that test was actually like a lot more appealing to me than the IQ test, which is like the problem with the IQ test is that it's so culturally based and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like if the Matrix test was an ideal intelligence test would be something that you could use equally to test human intelligence and a Raven's intelligence or like a dog intelligence. It's like if that test worked just as well on not only different cultures of humans, but also different animals, then we would know that we had a test that was like, oh, okay, this is actually measuring something.
Yeah.
Something but even the Raven Matrix test, since it like advantages people with rich parents, we know it's not good. Mm-hmm. It's not the ideal test.
Yeah. I mean, that's, we sort of got, like off topic there, but yeah, I was going to say what I had heard about it was basically, this is one of those things where I had like a lecture when I was in university where a professor said this, but I couldn't find any sources to back it up. So I feel weird just being like, this guy told me, I swear. But, he told me that the Raven Matrix test was essentially, this idea of it's used for testing animals and like superhuman intelligence, like really high genius level, where
gods. Oh
yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's used for animals and gods, and so it's a bit skewed for humans. That's weird. Yeah. I wish we'd gotten more into it, because the thing is, I kind of want to make more like a bit more positive videos, because there are really, I hope I kind of conveyed this in the video, that there are really interesting problems that come up with intelligence testing. And it is kind of like, I feel like this is kind of part of what Jordan Peterson's appeal is, where he's always like, it's a really difficult problem because you have to deal with this. And like, I feel like it is, honestly, it's cool to think about, how do you test intelligence? How do you quantify that? Like, yeah.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people on the left not to cede objectivity to the right. Mm-hmm. Let's not appear as though we're merely afraid of confronting hard questions. Mm-hmm. That's but let's also not just fall into the trap of like Charles Murray has something to say about different like racial intelligence. Let's listen to him with open ears. That's mm-hmm. We have to be able to like call out disingenuous, racist motivated use of science, but at the same time, like not seem like we're just afraid. Right? Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was a burp.
It's a burp of approval, right?
It is, yes. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like there is a really big thing in terms of like left-wing stuff where it's a lot of reactive stuff. Like, it's not much of sort of advancing our own agenda, or that sounds a bit more propagandist than I want to come off. Like, more, I feel like there's less, it's more of like, well, no, you're wrong because of this and this and this, or we need to deplatform you because of this and this. And it's less of, no, let's just get someone who's going to say this type of stuff that we want to talk about in, mm-hmm. and not even just straight up like, let's do like, have like Marxists and stuff like on campus. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of good that comes from people who are just like, I don't know, like Lindsay Ellis and Jenny Nicholson's, where it's like, this is obvious, or like Big Joel's, where it's like, this is obviously informed by a fairly leftist perspective, but it isn't like leftist content exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Interesting. Do you have any ideas for something like that? That like a video that wouldn't be so reactive?
I mean,
like pretty much all of those are like, I said this and he's wrong.
I mean,
and here's why.
I don't know. James, if you're up, and Will too, like I'm down. I don't know if I'm the person to be the like radical idea spreader. I don't know. I feel like I'm so self-conscious about all of my stuff already that I'd be worried about doing that. But we talked about it in the last live stream about how I want to do one about like food. I was thinking about doing one about Louis C.K. Video about Louis C.K. Comedy stuff is fun. I really like doing that.
Yeah, and it's yeah. I mean, you being a comedian, I mean, you kind of like have a perspective, right? Like, I would love to know what you think about the whole Louis thing, because I mean, we've talked recently, and I think about comedians, like just at a party or whatever. But like, I don't know if we've talked about that. I think it's pretty. I think it's an important thing. I mean, it sounds like trivial when you, but.
No, I mean, I think critiquing that type of stuff, like it's interesting too. I mean, I nerd out about it. I'm sure enough people do. My thing with Louis C.K., or the thing I thought would be kind of interesting to get into, is how I think when he started making his comeback, all these people started saying like, now he's becoming an alt-right guy. Like that's the only audience he has left. I think that his act was pretty much exactly the same type of stuff that we laughed at before. I don't think it was that different, but it is different because we know about who he is. And I think that is an interesting thing to get into about how that affects it. Because I definitely find those like more offensive Louis jokes that he's telling now I have like absolutely obviously I'm not giving him any whatever leeway with that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot darker when you understand like how much of a predator he was for so long.
Yeah.
Like, or just it's I like obviously like it's he's gonna have a hard time, and he probably should.
Certainly.
Yeah. I kind of disagree, actually. I think that he did the standpoint of his act is different. To disagree with what Sam was saying, that it's essentially the same. Because I haven't listened to it. Apparently he has a new set that just came out last few days or something.
Oh, I haven't heard that. I listened to like almost the whole. I didn't get to the whole thing about the Parkland kids or about like the bathrooms or whatever. I
listened to all that stuff.
Most of it.
Yeah, I listened to that one, and I am I was a huge Louis C.K. fan. Like, Louis C.K. was the reason that I started doing stand-up to begin with. Like, easily my favorite thing. I've seen everything by him. And listening to the new one, or, the one that was just recorded in a club, I was kind of like, oh, interesting. Like, this doesn't really sound like it's still Louis. Like, there's some quality joke writing going on at some points. A lot of the jokes were unpolished, but overall I really felt like the standpoint was from a different place. He's angry. He wasn't like, he didn't want to take any of the blame himself. He just kind of wanted to whereas before, Louis C.K. was always the first person to say, I'm a piece of shit. I am a horrible person. I hate my kids. I hate this. I hate this. I hate that. Like, I'm bad. I don't appreciate technology.
Yeah, that is a good point.
This new one, he was very much like, I lost $36 million in one day. All right.
That was
kids these days. They're not even fun. They care about pronouns. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like very much like, instead of being like the sort of self-deprecating, like self-hating, like Louis' whole thing was, I'm a piece of shit, until we found out that he actually is a piece of shit. And then his thing was like, well, you guys are a piece of shit. Anyway, that's my theory, basically.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because for one big thing with that special or that set that got recorded was his opening joke. I didn't see that much coverage of it. I thought that was way more reprehensible than almost anything else. The whole like, I lost this much money and this like how little responsibility, and how he made it such a woe is me thing about something that's so fucked up. And I get that it's difficult.
How am I supposed to feel sympathy for you, dude? But like, everybody in the club was dying laughing. So. What would you do if you were in a club and Louis C.K. came in? What would you do?
I don't know. As comics too, it'd be very weird. Do you mean as comics or like as audience? As an
Well,
audience, I don't know.
oh, like if you were on the show, I guess
Yeah,
you would
I
have to
guess so.
stay. It's not like you
Yeah.
could just walk out.
Hmm.
But if you were in the audience, would you stay?
I don't know. I feel like I would probably walk out. Um,
Yeah, eh?
yeah.
Maybe I would stay, but then I'd heckle him.
Yeah. Did you see there was that woman who
Show us your dick.
yeah. That was good. I also I think someone else pointed out, but it's so funny. The guy who recorded him was just the most annoying guy ever.
Whoever that guy is canceled.
No,
that guy sucks.
I want him to record every one of Louis' specials from now on. I feel like it was. If anyone didn't see it, it's so annoying. It's so funny though, because the guy is just the guy who's like, oh no, he didn't. Oh,
Yeah,
that was bad.
Yeah, he says shit like that and be like, no way, no. Oh, you went there. Oh, it's true. Like, and you just were like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up and let me listen to this monster.
Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't seen his new one, but there's a quote from his new one here. Let me see if I can just get it here once.
Oh, hey. Look what we did get here. We got Willie Jarvis.
Oh, there you go.
Look at a reintroduction.
Dang, dude.
I just had to restart my computer.
Yeah. Now they can see how extremely hot we all are. Temperature just went up in this room.
I feel bad. I missed James's whole spiel about Louis C.K. So like I was watching him like move his mouth around and stuff, and it looked really.
That's actually all I was doing. I wasn't saying anything. I was like, you know what's fucked about Louis C.K.?
Great point. Great point. Oh, yeah, that's very entertaining.
So here's a from Louis' new set. There's a quote I have here. I haven't listened to it. I don't know if this is true. So whatever. I'm just gonna read it. It says, "The only advice."
Hello, Will or James?
Yep.
I'm not hearing James.
I can give you is ask.
Oh, you're kind of cutting out, James.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
Oh shit. I'm back? Okay.
Yeah.
So this Louis' new set. Apparently Louis' new set, he has a line that says, "The only advice I can give you is ask first if you can jerk off in front of someone. And if they say yes, say, 'Are you sure?' And if they still say yes, then still just don't do it." So he finally has actually like directly addressed the whole issue. He never did before.
Yeah, in his own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like
I mean, the thing with that, like, I don't know what people are really hoping for other than him just going away. Like, I can't imagine him in a funny way meaningfully addressing it. So my expectations aren't high for that. It's still like shitty. It's better than the last one where he was like, "I lost this much money," but still, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's like, I think for something like what he did, you could probably imagine a kind of contrition that would allow him to, return to, the good graces of the culture or whatever. But I don't know exactly what that would look like, and I would hesitate to, gander what it would look like, honestly.
Yeah,
because I don't know. People have different ideas of what shame is and what guilt should look like, and ultimately, if it's not satisfying for women who feel like this is a present sort of and real issue, then it's not good enough, and he kind of just has to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know what's nuts is that he never actually apologized.
No, yeah.
You know that letter he put out?
Yeah.
There was never in that letter did he say sorry or the word apology in it. It's not an apology. He
Mhm.
does
Yeah, that's a
validate
really good
what they
point.
say. That's what he does. He says the stories are true. These people who came forward with their names, and he names them, and he's
Mhm.
like, and others who decided not to be named. I can tell you these stories are true. And then he just sort of gives excuses. I always asked, so I thought it was consent, and I was wrong.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think it was really
But
trying. I
he
think it was
never
really leaning on.
apologizes.
I think he was really leaning on the it's not as bad as this or that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like all I did was trap women and
There's
jerk
a
off in their presence.
Yeah, there's like literally that episode of Louis that it's him like basically doing that.
I mean, so much of Louis' shit, you watch his stuff now, he talks a lot about masturbating, a lot about jerking off in front of other people, a lot about like exposing himself to other people, and like it's all there. It's his comedy has really not aged well, you know?
Yeah.
Like
It's definitely not
I
the
can't listen to it.
jerking off portions of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like so much of it. Like
Yeah.
way I expected. I've tried to go back and watch it, and there's so much shit that you're just like, oh wow,
True.
you were always. And every time he's on stage, like miming jerking off, I'm just like, oh, he's getting off to this.
Yeah.
Jerking off in front of like thousands of people in this huge stadium right now. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Someone brought up that there's Bill Cosby has a joke that's
Spanish
literally
Fly.
yeah, it's literally about him going to Mexico to buy roofies, and it's on an album called The Truth.
Oh my god,
Oh god,
that's so dark.
that's brutal.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
like, the joke is that him and his kid friends, because like all his jokes are for kids, right? He's like, me and my friends when we were kids, like we wanted to get the Spanish Fly, make the girls fall in love with us. So we went to Spain, and then we were looking for the Spanish Fly, and they were like, oh, we've heard about the American Fly, and it's like, dope, That's like the punchline.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. So this is I feel like there's maybe a more fruitful avenue for comedy content, but yeah, I feel like it would be fun. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be at all surprised that Bill Burr is problematic, but I was really disappointed.
Oh no, what do you do?
It's nothing like particularly like he had. I mean, he did a special. I saw it live. It was maybe like 3 years ago, I think, and he has like a Caitlyn Jenner joke that is just brutally transphobic.
Yeah, he has a couple of like pretty transphobic
really?
jokes, and also like just misogynistic stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's very misogynistic. He had a thing though, like my thing where what I really liked with Bill Burr was how his whole thing is that he'll sort of just say something horrible, and then through this like very weird circuitous logic, he'll find a way to make that in the least likely way of making that argument to make it make sense. And
he digs a hole and then he gets out of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it is like a really impressive thing to do. The more sort of, I guess, like woke you get, the more you're kind of like, maybe you should argue for something that's good instead of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I always like there's certain comedians like because somebody in the comments hasn't Bill Burr always been problematic. Yes, 100%. He's always been problematic. There's like, I mean, there's a difference between like a Louis C.K. and like a Bill Cosby and like a Bill Burr who has a lot of bad opinions and is really funny. Like, I mean, I like the comedy of Patrice O'Neill, and that guy said some horrendous things about women in particular. So I don't really know how to like deal with that sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, that could also be it. I ran this by a friend of mine, and I feel like it is. He pointed out that it is extremely hack, but I thought it might be a fun one to do the whole separate the art from the artist thing, where I don't know. I mean, I feel like my take on that is just that I think that is a misframing of the question. At least, like, to say that you're separating the art from the artist. I mean, something like Louis, like the show Louis, or his stand-up, or like Woody Allen, for instance, if you're like separating the art from the artist, like
it's right there.
Yeah,
there's
like
not a lot left of the art.
Annie Hall or like Louis, like those are so about the artist that
and about
and
their
like
pathos and
the same way that Louis is always talking about jerking off. Every Woody Allen movie is about
yeah,
a young, like fucking an old guy, and usually the old is Woody Allen.
Yep. And so or Louis C.K. sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
But
yeah,
it's I feel like that sort of is a wrong way of looking at, and maybe a better way is because I feel like that sort of is a cute way of sort of circling around the actual question, which is it okay to enjoy art that is just made by bad people and can potentially be saying something really bad? And
well, I was just gonna say, when I think about this question, I think about this. I think it was a BBC special that Stephen Fry was involved in, where his family is Jewish, and I think it was on the topic of separating the art from the artist. I can't remember exactly, but he loves Wagner, and squares that appreciation with, Wagner's outright anti-Semitism.
Nazis stuff was like Hitler's favorite.
Yeah, proto-Nazism for sure. Maybe it has something to do with time, distance.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe, in 100 years, it'll be okay to appreciate Woody Allen movies.
I mean, that is honestly a thing where it does make a difference of if the person is still potentially like materially benefiting from that, your support,
and hasn't been held accountable and could be held accountable.
That is a difference for sure. And I mean, I legitimately don't know where I stand on that issue, because it is extremely I don't know. Sorry, I sort of had a thought and then lost it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. This is a bad take, but I just enjoy Bill Burr too much to stop listening to him because he had a transphobic joke. I mean, I still listen to Dave Chappelle. He had some real shit on his last couple specials.
Totally. And I mean, I don't think that is how people really look at that type of stuff.
I also don't think you have to buy into everything about somebody's personality in order to think that and you don't have to sort of write somebody off as a total lost cause either, if they're not, unless they're, a total lost cause.
Someone got an interesting question. Can classical music certainly without voice be considered crudely political in that way if taken without title, maybe?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like I was going to bring up like futurism too as another example of like it's like modern art that you would sort of be like, oh, there's a bunch of like weird points and stuff in it, but it's like pretty much like fascistic and
like I don't know, for people who like I don't know, The Fountainhead. I don't know why you would. I've never read it.
I read Ayn Rand for the prose.
Right. But I know people who read The Fountainhead and just think it's good science fiction. They're not, they're not objectivists.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
It's like, I like Ben Shapiro for his debating.
I just find his voice so soothing.
To watch a mind
so
like
goddamn
that
sexy.
It's like, oh no, I don't agree with any of Ben Shapiro's opinions. I just whack off the whole time.
Just a post on that Tumblr, your fave is problematic. Ben Shapiro has actually said some bad things.
But listen to his little squeaky spit up voice.
The part where he said that he wouldn't attend his sister's wedding if she dated someone of another race is actually quite problematic.
Yeah. Okay, guys, bad news. Ben Shapiro is canceled. Okay.
What?
I just saw this video.
But yeah, someone's saying basically a lot of long dead artists and writers are problematic. And I mean, yeah, I feel like that kind of gets to what I was sort of saying, or maybe it is just like a matter of like they aren't benefiting off of it materially. I think another part of it is when it's someone who is like obviously so problematic, like basically every part of the Western canon is like the people who wrote it. It's also a matter of those weren't ideas that like it wasn't feminism wasn't really like an idea around at that time. And it's not to say like to excuse that type of behavior, but you do look at it differently rather than as this guy was like it's not so much a moral failing on the part of the individual so much as this is a way of examining that part of society. I guess is sort of how you look at it. I mean, with time, I think it becomes a lot easier. It's a way harder question while you're still while they're still alive. I do agree with someone in the comments that enjoy the art but illegally don't pay for the artist. Is basically my policy.
Current Wagner.
Yeah.
Fuck you, the estate of Wagner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it is really difficult. I feel like it kind of is a matter of like it goes back and forth. Like James, you were sort of saying, I know we've talked before about how like you can't watch like Louis anymore without thinking about what he did and just how much of that is in his art. Whereas like, but you compare that to someone like Patrice O'Neill, and I mean, I'm not saying that like James is a hypocrite. It's like I legitimately think that it kind of is up to different people where you draw that line. And I think as long as you're like you understand why it's wrong, you aren't siding with them or like defending them, and like can enjoy it critically. I don't think that that's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely put I have like a separation between what people say and what people like do. If there's something like, if there's a case of abuse or something, I think then that is cause to cancel somebody. But because somebody has different opinions, or, you know, even if they are like hateful and harmful, I feel like it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, depending
Maybe
on
I'm just
how
making
hateful
excuses.
And harmful,
yeah.
I kind of think like I think this maybe mostly applies to music, which is it can get away with being more abstract and sort of detached, like contextually from the artist, like Dorian Sapiens here was saying, that to a certain extent, art doesn't really belong to the artist, to the extent that it, you know, once it affects somebody individually, it really becomes theirs. I think, right? Like if you're moved by a piece of music, if you're moved by some of Charles Manson's, folk recordings,
his one song from the Beach Boys.
yeah, right. I forget what it's called, but I mean, it's pretty bad.
This is a good song. Yeah. You're just like, I just like Hitler's paintings.
They're really bad. It's funny because like I see a lot of like edgelords who will be like defending it, being like, look, this painting is actually like very beautiful. Guess who made it? Adolf Hitler. It's like it's actually the perspective is terrible. He can't draw humans at all. Like the lighting is completely wrong. There's like doorways going into nowhere, and
he was rightfully rejected.
No, you know what? That painting's like pretty good. It's almost good enough to get accepted into art school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hitler is basically like the person you went to high school who like tried to get into art school and now they're like an Instagram photographer.
He's like that person you went to high school with who tried to get into art school and then ended up leading the Third Reich. We've all got somebody in our high school.
Yeah.
And if you know who it is, it's you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is a big problem, though.
I think that like one thing like is, you know, with stand-up comedy and some films like Louis C.K.'s films for sure, but also Woody Allen's, like it's such a personal art form, you know, like you really have to be on board with the person. Like when I watch a stand-up comedian, if I'm like, oh, that guy like assaults women, it's hard for me to enjoy any joke because you really have to be like, feel like you like that person. You know, you
that's
can't
true.
someone that you hate.
I think it's
especially
kind of the same with
life and their opinions.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same with something like rap as well, like where like the focus of the music is so autobiographical, like usually, that to buy into the music, you're kind of buying into a person, like a something that is like both a character and a personification of of who that person really is.
Totally. I mean, it can go either way, right? It can go either way. Like with Louis C.K., his jokes are so similar to like what he's doing. You're like, oh, this is disturbing. And then with like Cosby, his jokes are all so squeaky clean, except for that Spanish fly joke. But like they're all, it's like you're like, he's a family man, he's a nice guy, but he's not. You know, he's like a monster. So listening to his stuff, it ruins it. Yeah. Whereas listening to something like Wagner or something like that, I feel like would be somehow different, you know, because you're not. I mean, unless the title of the song is something really anti-Semitic, I don't know.
Well, I think he based like he wrote operas about he was a German romanticist, so he wrote operas about like, you know, the German people reclaiming the land and that kind of thing. I don't know.
It was a lot of like folk, right? Like
it was very folkish. It was very like.
That's also a thing I've wanted to talk about. How like that's sort of like the like folk consciousness is sort of like the like fascist like equivalent of like class consciousness, and that's how they
It's like it's the sort of the soil that fascism sort of gestates in a way. And that'd be a great
because that's also like that is actually a thing that's like interesting. Like when I was in school, I did like a class on it was just like a like intro summary class on theater and like drama and just like reading all these plays, and so many of them were like very cool and weird and interesting, and a lot of them would have like folk or like folk stuff in them, or like it's a very, very innocuous sort of thing that frankly there's a lot of really interesting cool art. Like I used to think futurism was a really cool, interesting, just artistic concept and stuff, and like I'd read about it as like an edgelord like 13-year-old being like, we glorify war, and I was like, cool. Yeah, I listen to Rob Zombie, I'm gonna get a Hellboy tattoo, I'm into this.
Fascism is basically just the reign of 13-year-old boys.
By the way, someone like I tweeted about my last like the new IQ video, and someone thought I was like alt-right and was like, spoiler alert, IQ is like racism is like bullshit, whatever. I was like, no, I know this is what this video is about.
Keep watching.
Right.
I mean, I feel like part of the problem is because I made the name for my channel Blackout 666 to make fun of the type of 13-year-old piece of shit I was, and I don't think that that's obvious enough. I was like,
I definitely didn't understand that. I've always kind of wondered why.
I was like the grossest genre of shitty kid. I was the like, I'm Satan, I'm the devil kid. Like, so that's a bit of my origin story, but I keep like wanting to change the brand, and then like one or two people will say, no, this is good, and so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think you're maybe a couple of videos away from it being kind of, this is it, you know, that's who you are. I like it. I mean, I think it reads.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to just lean into being like as big of a piece of shit as I can to just get that. I went to like one of the Toronto like meetups of like all the leftist YouTubers, and Thoughtslime, like I was talking to Thoughtslime, and he was like, wait, you're a Satanist, right? I was like, no. He's like, are you into like heavy metal? It's like, no. He's like, and he's like, and you're not a furry? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh yeah, you should absolutely change the name. He thought like very hard about Thought Slime, and he was like, I spent months, I had bulletin boards. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, no, I am a slime, and I do enjoy slime music, so it works for me.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Nah, whatever. People might. Do you think people think that you're a black guy?
Yeah, maybe. I'm like Dunkey, the streamer. Donald Bradley should have mentioned the Monster Girls. Monster Girls are objectively better than furries. I'm just gonna say that. I know I'm not helping my case by saying that, but like Monster Girls, I get it. Furries are like, yeah.
That's like Sam talking to Thought Slime. Sam's talking to Thought Slime. He's like, no, I'm not a furry. All right, I'm a Monster Girl fan. I'm a Monster Boy.
What that is?
Monster Girls are. It's hard to describe. It's less of like, it's sort of furries, but it's like it's more specifically anthropomorphized girls who interact with humans in like interact with like human men or women in like it can either be like in like a very like predatory way or in like a like subservient like domesticated animal way.
You said anthropomorphized girls.
I think they're mostly that. I don't know.
You mean anthropomorphized monsters?
Oh, I mean, yeah, yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess.
Is that a safe Google search?
I mean, define safe. Like, I don't think you're gonna get put on a list, but like, don't do it at the office. Like...
Right. Okay. Point taken. All right. Question answered. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, Maya's stuff is I think it was the right choice not to have done this. Maya has another character which is pregnant Harry Potter.
Oh,
nice.
Which we were thinking of putting into the video instead of like maybe Snake Girl or instead of Charizard Girl, and just have it be like, I need to go to the office, my scar, and I'm going into labor, and and just being like, no, sit down. Anyway, Airplane Girl, but like, I was like, wanted to know what the whole like motivation behind her stuff was. I was like, oh, that's like cool. Is that like a weird sort of like statement on like whatever? I don't know. Some of her stuff is like statements on whatever. And went to like one of her things, and no, it's just vor.
So doesn't that mean he's not pregnant? He ate somebody?
Yes, yeah. The pregnant Harry Potter is he ate Voldemort and then became pregnant.
Okay, right. Oh, he'd have like Voldemort's face coming out of his belly, like fucking Quirrell's head.
Oh, that'd be good. No, she didn't do that. It's just she did paint some honestly beautiful pictures of Harry Potter, like maternity pictures of Harry Potter.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
I gotta check those out.
It's honestly
could have like
solid.
The stretch marks are in lightning bolt shapes.
Oh, that's so good.
Man, that is so creative.
Damn. James is
I don't know where to go from here.
I want to make that clear to everyone. Miles wants the pregnant Harry Potter. Listen, if the people want it, the people are gonna get it.
Twitter poll.
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake not to put it in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it maybe didn't fit in this video, but that's not to say it won't. Pregnant Harry Potter won't appear somewhere else.
You might be seeing pregnant Harry Potter in the new one. Like that. I love it because like people who don't agree with us, like, who are just watching, like, I like Jordan Peterson fans or whatever, and they see like a girl dressed up as Harry Potter who's pregnant because of vor.
Yeah.
It's just gonna, like.
On the last video, people got pissed about it. Yeah, on my last previous IQ video, like I got a couple comments by people who would just be like, "Look at this freak in a costume," and it's like, dude, you already lost all your cool. It's like you lost this argument. Also, I was worried about Maya, because like if I'm having someone on my channel, like I don't want them to like get like targeted or like have like, I don't care if you say shit about me, but like don't say mean things about my guests. And so I was like worried about it, and like showed to Maya, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is the shit." And so
She sounds like a pretty cool chick, I gotta say.
yeah, she's awesome. Like, did she ask about me or? Yeah, I'm stoked. We're also like a little over an hour now.
Oh, okay.
I should probably go to my Mother's Day dinner soon. Yeah, should we any like just real quick, if anyone wants to like say anything in the chat, happy to like quickly respond to anything there if there's anything you think we didn't cover. And otherwise I think we'll sign off around now. Yeah, just give it a minute. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about?
No, just thanks for anybody who stuck around to watch.
Yeah, seriously.
Sam, for involving me again.
Thank you. Yeah, big thing. Also, if there's any creators watching this in the chat, I think I saw Theory Plebe earlier. Will Jarvis is an amazing guy to work with. Not just like super talented, but also like on the creative process, really, really great to work with. I'm not very well. I don't know much about music, and was like, can you make it sound like the lighting is going to be cool? Is that helpful for you at all? And he was really like did an amazing job. Please like work with him. He wants to get more involved in left tube stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, hit me up. Thanks, Sam. Hit me up. I'm at Will Jarvis Creative at gmail.com. All lowercase. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to plug the I can plug your Bandcamp obviously, but also you have a patron for your band. Do you want me to plug that too?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
that'd
cool.
Be great. Yeah. If you guys want to check out my band, Wax Limbs. We're a Toronto sort of indie electronic rock kind of outfit, and
they are really good. I've seen them. Also, I should give a shout out to I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I worked with I think it's okay if I just say it. I worked with a group called Fight Back. They're a really great Marxist, largely student group that helped me get like on location shooting. I probably shouldn't say where I was shooting for like some of the classroom scenes in that last video. I don't know what to do because like the guy who got me the classroom was like, yeah, just I was like, yeah, do you want me to give like Fight Back a shout out? And he was just like, yeah, just say that you worked with an organization that is working to build Marxism across the world. It's like, I'm not gonna say that at the end of this video. I mean, actually, I meant to, but I just always forgot because I record the send off thing at like 3 a.m. But yeah,
it kind of sounds like you're part of a huge conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't want to say Soros, but I have a lot of gold.
That way, if anybody tries to like say like, "Oh, you're a cultural Marxist," you'd be like, "Well, yeah. Did you see the end of my video?"
That's ridiculous. I'm not. Postmodernism is vulgar Marxism. Let's get really defensive for a very different reason.
Whoa. That is not quite the strain of Marxism.
Yeah, James, do you have anything that you want to say or plug or anything?
No, I'm good. Watch the channel, watch the video. I know I will.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Okay. Also, yeah, well, let's meet up soon, James and Will. Let's we could all like maybe meet up sometime and work on a new thing. But I'm got the juices flowing. I'm gonna get a new thing out within the month of June. It's probably gonna be towards the end because I take forever. There's a hard times. Thanks for streaming. Watches. I'll have to watch Rachel IQ on too. Oh, okay. Someone's signing off to go watch the video. So, wow, nice. A lot of spoilers. So, okay, but
wow,
enjoy.
Yeah, there's sorry, if anyone reads, there's a website called The Hard Times that's like it's like The Onion but for punk music.
So funny. I love
it's
that website.
So good, dude. It's so much of like all the people in my life. Like it's like so much more that. The Onion's like more for like young professionals. This is like full scumbags. But they had one article that hit so hard where it was like YouTuber begins each video by apologizing for hiatus.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna try and I'm making these are gonna be weekly. If anyone wants to, I'll post it on Twitter and like my Patreon too, but to see when the best day and time would be. Right now it's gonna be Saturdays at 7 every week, but I am gonna do weekly live streams, and I think that's gonna keep me a bit more accountable to you fine people. And yeah, we will be making more videos soon.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. I guess so. Should we just sign off then?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go apologize to my mom.
We should all do that.
Happy
Yeah.
Thursday.
Everyone, go home and just call your mom and just say, "I love you. I'm sorry," and then hang up and do it from a payphone so they don't know who you are.
Use a voice scrambler.
Yeah, exactly.
I love you. I'm sorry. Great.
All right.
Good to meet
All
you,
right.
James.
Bye.
All
Bye,
right.
YouTube.
See you.
Bye, Will.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I love you. I'm sorry.